We've started in Drumnadrochit, which is the start of the Affric Kintail Way. Left pretty early this morning from Edinburgh, caught the first train out, and it's now 7 minutes to 12 and we've just made it here on the bus. The Affric Kintail Way is a 45-mile hike from Drumnadrochit to Morvich, and we've chosen it to do it westward. And the reason for doing that is because it's meant to get more scenic the further west that we go. So we start off in the forest section behind us, and then we get into the more open valleys and glens later on in day 2, day 3. The weather forecast for the duration of this hike is meant to be pretty good. So today we're meant to have temperatures of around 20 to 22 degrees during the day, and then at night it's meant to drop down to about 7 or 8 degrees. Slight kit changes since the Arran Coastal Way. I've brought my Aegis Max quilt and given my Apex quilt to Liv, and it's her first time backpacking. I'm also not carrying my 3F Lantern tent. I've switched that out for a nature hike Tiger 2 because obviously the Lantern is only a one-person tent. About 4 miles in now, and we've been walking along this fire road for the past 3 miles or so. Liv, what do you think so far of the Affric Kintail Way?
It's a lot of trees. A lot of trees. Rocky paths.
Are you having a good time?
Yes, it's very peaceful. It's nice. It's hot.
And we are on the A road to Cannich. We've stopped at Cannich Campsite for the night, and obviously looking at behind me is not wild camping as I normally do, but it's getting kind of late, and looking at the map there wasn't anything campable for another couple of miles or so along the Affric Kintail Way. So because we had such a huge day, we've walked 21 kilometers, so that's 13-14 miles in the 6 hours that we were walking. That's pretty quick rate. We decided just to stop here just to be easier. Anyway, today hasn't been the greatest of days. Most of the walk along the forest and along the A road was pretty bland and boring. But yeah, as we head further west towards Morvich, it should only get better. We slept for around 11 hours last night, waking up at 8 o'clock, having gone to bed at 9, and it was Liv's first night in a tent. Liv, how did you find sleeping in the nature hike tent?
It was comfortable.
Yeah? Were you cold?
I was cold,
Yeah.
but I'm always cold, so
Okay.
there's no point asking me. Somebody hogged the mat though.
Are you looking forward to more hiking today?
Yeah. Can't wait.
Looking at the maps, the first part of today would be going through the foresty part, and in fact we're going to be starting the day with about a 300-meter climb up the forest, and later on in a few miles time the view will open up onto the lochs and glens. We had lunch at Dogfalls and climbed about 300 meters up the forest path. Liv, what do you think of the trekking poles?
I really like them. I definitely did not say I'd just marry them because they're the best thing I bought.
No, Liv was not convinced by the trekking poles, but I made her buy them for this trip, and guess they're quite useful.
Yes, they are.
It's 15 minutes past 4 and we have pitched up. That's the Tagger 2 behind me with the doors open, held by my trekking poles and some guy lines. But yeah, we found this nice little spot next to the loch after walking for 18.5 kilometers today, so that's about 12 miles. Even though we've not been walking for that long, we're kind of tired and we've only got around 30 kilometers, so that's around 20 miles to go. And we've done more than half the route in less than half the time. So thought we'll take it easy and relax in this nice little spot. Today's walk was a lot better than yesterday's, even though a lot of the walk was along the forest, so we didn't get to see much, but there were glimpses of the scene behind us, and when it did open up, it did look stunning. So yeah, definitely looking forward to the next couple of days when the view will open up even more onto Loch Affric. It was pretty warm last night and we had a little bit of rain, which meant I had to drop one of the doors to close it so the rain doesn't come in from the sides. But doing that also meant that we had worse condensation issues than I was expecting. I had this little piece of microfiber cloth to wipe some of the condensation away periodically, but even then we still had quite a heavy buildup of condensation this morning. So decided to air the tent out while we're having breakfast, so hopefully in half an hour's time it will dry up. Liv's morning coffee. Last night was Liv's first experience of wild camping. How did you find it compared to camping at the campsite?
A lot quieter because we didn't have to listen to anyone putting up their tents at like 10 o'clock at night.
And what do you think of the view?
It's really nice, very peaceful. It's quiet.
Looking forward to tonight?
Yes, I'm hoping the views are even nicer.
Having walked 38 kilometers over the past couple of days, we've got 32 kilometers left on the Affric Kintail Way, which works out to around 20 miles. So if we can do 12-13 miles today, that leaves us 8 or 9 miles to do on the final day. And we will be aiming to catch the 4:28 bus from Morvich to Glasgow. So 8 miles, I think it's quite reasonable to achieve. We're just finishing up the forest part now, hopefully anyway. And next up we should be hitting Loch Affric fairly soon, where the view should open up. Three miles in for the day and the view has finally opened up onto Loch Affric. We're about 7 miles in today and the view has definitely opened up onto the rugged highlands and away from the forest. Liv, what do you think of the scenery today?
Breathtaking, incredible, very Scottish and inspiring, and I'm glad it's not an A road anymore. That's muddy. Ugh.
We've walked for around 17 kilometers today, which is around 10 miles or so, and it's now 4:30 and we have pitched up the tent, and behind us you can't see, but about half a kilometer over the hill is the UK's most remote youth hostel. Today's walk has been pretty good and it's been pretty scenic. The view onto Loch Affric as well as walking along River Affric has been amazing, and here's to hoping that tomorrow's view is going to be equally as good. Final day on the Affric Kintail Way. We've packed up, got water and ate breakfast, and it's 8:15, which is quite an early start for us. The weather is also looking absolutely amazing. We have sunshine and blue skies and cloudless skies. Today we simply have to walk around 10 miles or so over to Morvich, over in the distance, around, and we've got about 8 hours to do it. Found a little bunny rabbit, so if this belongs to anyone, I shall put it in the bothy. Just coming into Morvich now. We've got less than a kilometre left and we've walked for about 9 miles today. It's been a pretty good day. The views of the hills were magnificent, even though the weather was slightly too good and it's getting quite hot. So I'm really glad that we started early and didn't do this later on in the afternoon. Liv, how was the Affric Kintail Way for you, and how was your first experience of hiking and camping?
Really good, very tiring. Definitely not easy, but I've really enjoyed it and the views have been beautiful and stunning. And I actually really like camping, so that's good.
So would you do it again?
Definitely, as long as there's no A roads or too much forest.
The Affric Kintail Way has been a pretty good walk, especially from the midpoint onwards, so that's maybe halfway through day 2, day 3, and today the views were absolutely amazing. I guess it also helps that the weather has been nice to us. There was only a bit of rain overnight, but other than that it's been spotless. I would definitely recommend doing it westward, and if I were to do it again, I'll definitely consider skipping the initial stage from Drumnadrochit to Cannich, because that's not interesting. Rumour has it they'll fix up the new path to avoid the road walking in a couple of years' time, so whenever the new route gets made it might be worthwhile doing that section, but until then I would happily start from Cannich. Anyway, just coming into Cannich now. I think the visitor centre should be about 500 meters away from this point, so I'm gonna finish off this video. Thank you for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.